Morning, welcome. So the first thing that we do when we sit down to meditate is establish our intention for our practice. So whatever kind of morning you've had, whatever you're carrying from the week, we can just leave that at the door and center ourselves in our intention for our practice. So we always start by generating compassion for all sentient beings and making the wish that the practice that we do brings benefit to them. So we'll just take a moment to do that now to give rise to bodhicitta, the compassionate wish to free all sentient beings from suffering. And then we'll say the 7-line prayer 3 times. Organ yugi num jansam, pemage sardompola, yaten chogi ngorubne, pemajone jesurak, kordu kandro mangpokor, ketki jesudak druki, Jinji lop chia sheksu so, Guru Pema Siddhi Hom. Organ yugi num jansam, Pema ge sardompola, Yatsen chogi ngorubne, Pema jongne jesurak. Kordu kandro mangpokor, Ketki jesu druki, Jinji lop chia sheksu so, Guru Pema Siddhi Hom. Organ yugi num jansam, Pema ge sardompola, Yatsen chogi ngorubne, Pema jongne jesurak. Kordu kandro mangpokor, Ketki jesu druki, Jinji lop chia sheksu so, Guru Pema Siddhi Hom. Right. So the meditation that we'll be doing today is Shamatha meditation, or calm abiding meditation. And most of the instruction for this class comes from Jetsuma's book, Stabilizing the Mind. This practice of meditation is common to all Buddhist traditions, but you don't have to be Buddhist to practice it. Of course, all of you are obviously quite Buddhist. You can see everyone in the room is wearing robes. Just in case anyone online is watching. So meditation, Jetsuma has taught that meditation is the natural state of mind when it's relaxed, stable, and open. And this calm abiding meditation trains our mind to be calm and relaxed while also being alert and wakeful. And the point of this meditation is to create space in the mind. Having space in the mind helps us to balance our emotions. It helps us to see that we are not our thoughts. It helps us to gain some distance and perspective around our thoughts and emotions and be able to work with them in our expression of them. You know, when our emotions come up, what do we do with them? How do we work with them? Do we react out of anger, or do we maybe take that anger as information, a message, and respond to the situation skillfully, compassionately? You know, how can we work with these things as they come up? So if we don't have space in the mind, we don't have the ability to do that. We don't have the ability to work skillfully with any thoughts or emotions that come up. We're just in action mode. We're like animals kind of running around, just darting around from like the sound, the sight, oh my gosh, a cat, run. And it's just like constant bombardment from our senses and our thoughts, judgments about the information coming through our senses, and then the emotions that arise from that. And creates a very tumultuous mental experience, and it causes a lot of suffering. When we're not in control of our minds, we suffer. I said this last week, but Dzongtse Khyentse Rinpoche said that the point of Buddhism, the whole point of Buddhism is to have fun. And when we're not in control, it's not fun. It's not fun when someone else is controlling us. And no one likes to be controlled by another. And when our minds are controlling us instead of us controlling our minds, that's not fun. So we do this practice so we can learn to tame our minds through this practice, and then we'll have a lot more fun, and we can help other beings have more fun too. So creating this space in the mind also is the first step in the development of bodhicitta, the compassionate wish to free all sentient beings from suffering. So when we do not have space in the mind, we really our reactivity tends to revolve around self-centeredness. And all of our thoughts tend to be about ourselves and our own happiness and how we can secure that, how we can guard against unhappiness and secure, the happiness that we have. And with a little bit of space, we can start expanding our awareness to include, there's other people in the world. There's other beings out there, and we can care about them. So we need a little bit of space in order to do that, in order to open up our hearts. So even though this is a practice that we think about working with mind, it is also a practice of the heart. And doing this practice helps us to create just, connect with our compassion and develop our compassion. So we'll take a comfortable seat. You can do this practice sitting in a chair or cross-legged on the floor. And place your hands in your lap, gently relaxed. You can, traditionally, we hold one hand in the other. I'll show for people online, one hand in the other with the thumbs touching. And place your hands so the thumbs are just below your navel. Or you can just rest them on your thighs. And then check in with your posture. Make sure your spine is straight. Often we're on our phones all the time and have really bad posture, so it might feel uncomfortable to straighten up. But you can imagine a thread going up your spine and out through the crown of your head, and just tug that thread to pull your spine nice and straight. And your shoulders are open and kind of back so that you have really good posture. Your elbows are out a bit. We have a lot of room around our rib cage for our breath to move. And our eyes will remain open, looking downwards. So you can imagine a line following the bridge of your nose, down, down, down to the ground. And just find a place along that line where it's comfortable to rest your gaze. And then place the tip of your tongue right behind your front teeth. It's like saying the letter L. Allow yourself to relax completely and breathe normally. If you feel like your breath is constricted, you can just exhale all of your air. And then naturally you'll start breathing deeply again. Once you've relaxed into your natural rhythm of breathing, put a very light attention on your breath. Don't try to control it at all. Just breathe naturally with the most gossamer thin attention on your breath. It's like taking your pulse. You don't put on any pressure on it. Just observe it. Your attention is like a feather, gently riding on the surface of your breath. When thoughts come up, just let them go like bubbles popping on the surface of a pond. Don't even look to see what they are. Don't check to see if it's a good thought or a bad thought. Just let it pop. Your meditation is not lost by hearing your thoughts, but by following them down the road. So as soon as you notice that you've left your breath and you're following a thought, just drop it. Let it pop and return to your breath. And if it's really difficult for you to dismiss your thoughts, you can imagine picking the thoughts up with tongs and dropping them, or cutting them with scissors and throwing them away. But you always return to that single-pointed concentration. Just return again and again to that gossamer thin attention on your breath. So that's our first round of meditation for today. Sometimes when we meditate, we will feel like we're having a good meditation practice, and most of the time, probably, we will not feel like we're having a good meditation practice, and that's okay. As you meditate regularly, also you'll notice that your meditation practice will be affected by so many different things, whether you've had a good night's sleep or not, whether you've had a big breakfast or not, or whether you've had a stressful week or whatever, any of these influences, whether you're sick or whether your arthritis is acting up or anything. We have so many things that can affect how our meditation practice is going on any particular day. And so it's very important not to judge for our for our performance anytime that we're meditating. It's not helpful to create stories about, sometimes people say like, oh, I just can't meditate. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at shutting off my thoughts, which is not what we're trying to do. I'm not trying to shut off our thoughts. But people have that idea. They're meditating and then they have all this thoughts and all this activity going on, or they get very anxious or something, they have an unpleasant experience while they're meditating and they think, I just can't do this. I'm cut out for it. And the Buddha has taught that we all have the same mind. We all have the same potential for enlightenment. So we all can learn how to meditate. We have to start where we are. We have to be compassionate about where our starting point is. So maybe our starting point is meditating for the course of one breath, or for 10 seconds, or for 45 seconds, or whatever. That's fine. We just start wherever we are. And it's none of us are beyond the ability to just start and do a little bit, no matter how bad off we are. I think of in a past life, the Buddha was, before he was the Buddha, he was reborn in a hell realm. And in the hell realm, experiencing the suffering of the hell realm, he had compassion for someone who was suffering alongside him. And that compassion was the spark that allowed him to move out of that hell realm and start moving on the path towards Buddhahood. And so if in the depths of hell, one can have a passing thought of compassion and start moving forward on that momentum towards, a more positive path, just having a rough day in your meditation, it's like, we can do this. We can do this. We can move forward. And Dzongchen Khyentse Rinpoche said that, having that feeling like discouraged, that, I'm not good at this. I don't have enough time to practice. I'm not a very good practitioner. I really, I'm unfocused in my meditation, or I just am not doing well at this. Having that kind of thought is a good thing, because it shows you're building your awareness. And that's part of our practice, is building awareness of our mind, just starting to notice the way that our mind works and familiarizing ourselves with it. So, and that feeling of I'm not good enough at this, or I'm very distracted, and being, critical of yourself for that shows that you want to be better at it. And that desire to progress on the path, like, that is a good thing. So you have that. If you're feeling like you're not doing well enough in your meditation, that's a good sign that you want to be good at meditation. You want to figure this out. So go easy on yourself, but it's we need to be committed to improving, and also be compassionate towards ourselves and where we're at. So we're going to meditate for a little longer. I'm going to change the timer. Okay, so let's go into our meditation posture. there's anything about how you're sitting that needs to be adjusted, you can do that. When we come back to our great posture, relaxed body, eyes are gazing downward, tongue is just behind the front teeth. And allow yourself to relax completely and breathe normally. And then put a very light attention on your breathing. It's just like taking your pulse. You don't put any pressure on it, just observe it. Your attention is like a feather, gently riding on the surface of your breath. So one of the things that commonly comes up in meditation for people is anxiety. Um, and especially sometimes bringing attention to the breath makes us more aware of our anxiety because we can feel that so much, and feeling like I can't breathe. And you're like, oh, wow, I'm not breathing. I'm really anxious. And it just kind of, sometimes it can emphasize that. When we're meditating and anxiety comes up, our habit is to engage with it. For any of our thoughts, our habit is to engage with it and to, we go, oh yeah, what's that you're anxious about? What is the thing? And what should I do about it? And, we want to engage, we want to follow it, or we go like, no, I don't want to think about that, and we resist it. But either way, we're engaging, whether we're following it or we're pushing it away. That is engagement with the thought. And the thing is, it's kind of like a Chinese finger trap. When you have a Chinese finger trap on, if you tense and you try to move with it, what happens? You get stuck. And then you're stuck trying to like, oh, do I move it this way? Do I move it this way? What do I do? And you're stuck with it. You're stuck engaging with it. Instead of Chinese finger trap, what do? You relax and it lets go. So when we have these anxious thoughts that come up, you don't engage with them because that will just further entangle you with them, further get you stuck in them and distracted. We just stay relaxed. We stay on the breath, and then the Chinese finger trap you don't get trapped if you don't resist it. If you don't do anything, you don't get stuck. So when the thoughts come up, you don't do anything. You just stay on the breath. You stay relaxed, and they'll pass by you. And it'll probably still suck while you're experiencing it. It doesn't really get better in the moment. That's the thing about the meditation. That's the thing about, like, people think like, well, what do I do when I'm anxious during meditation? Like, how do I feel better? You're not going to feel better. The anxiety is going to be anxiety. And, but over time, by not engaging in it, by changing that habit and not engaging with it, then you get used to just letting it pass by. And then it's like a dark cloud passing over, and then it's gone, and it doesn't cause you as much suffering. Um, so it's still not fun in the moment. There's nothing that just makes anxiety like magically all better, or any of our other negative emotions. But over time, by practicing not engaging with them, they have less power over us, and we become less anxious about anxiety. We become less anxious about these things. So it's not a big deal. It comes up, it passes. It's not a big deal. So let's end with one 3-minute meditation, just really, really short little one to close. So we'll come back to our meditation posture. Allow yourself to relax completely and breathe in your natural rhythm. It's like taking your pulse. You don't put any pressure on your breath. You just observe it. Your attention is like a feather, gently riding on the surface of your breath. All right, and then we will end with our dedication prayers. Throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue I have accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice, and all that I will ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased for every being, while their wisdom and compassion increase in this and every future life. May I clearly perceive all experiences to be as insubstantial as the dream fabric of the night, and instantly awaken to perceive the pure wisdom display in the arising of every phenomenon. May I quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas altogether, whatever kind of motivation you have, whatever kind of beneficial action, whatever kind of wishing prayers, whatever kind of omniscience, whatever kind of life accomplishment, whatever kind of benevolent power, and whatever kind of immense wisdom you have, similarly I, who have come in the same way to benefit beings, pray to attain these qualities. By this effort, may all sentient beings free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms. All right. Well, thank you